The Toronto Blue Jays start off their homestand on the right foot with a win against a struggling Chicago White Sox. The bottom of the order was key, and Chris Bassitt looked good yet again. So we'll break that down and much more on this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse, and I could get used to this, talking about a Blue Jays win at home against the Chicago White Sox, and it was a good game today. The Jays didn't have their best stuff, but they found a way to win, and that's a sign of a good team, and that's what we've been preaching for all season long. So hopefully they can start to get the wins rolling now that they're at home, and it's been a good stretch for the boys here.
Yeah, they've been playing very well. And like we touched on in the last post game video, the schedule has been tough. It's starting to settle down a little bit. And I texted you during the game. It's important that they got this homestand started with a win. And before we do get into the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We're very, very close to 7,000 subscribers. So that would mean a lot. But Peter, like you said, the Jays started off the homestand right. They got the win against the Chicago Cubs. And again, it wasn't a must win or anything like that. But the Rays did just sweep the White Sox. And they're obviously beating everyone right now. But each win is important, even though it's early in the year, especially against a team that's struggling like the White Sox.
Yeah, this wasn't the cleanest of victories. I mean, the Jays pitching did what they had to do. They got out of some tough jams and didn't really give the White Sox an opportunity to get back into the game after they took the lead. But again, runners in scoring position, the hitting with runners in scoring position was not great once again, apart from a couple of clutch hits that we'll touch on in a little bit here. But it's okay. They're finding ways to win, and we've been preaching about the little things, doing those little things to scrape wins, and even when you don't have your best game or your best stuff on the mound or your best stuff in the lineup, you find ways to beat on these teams that you should be beating. And the Jays realistically coming in should sweep the White Sox, but 2 out of 3 is always a good result, but this is a good start here.
Yeah, and it's something the Jays haven't been doing as much the past couple of years. Was they still won tons of games, but it was winning games that maybe they shouldn't have won, or when the offense was scuffling like it kind of was for the first couple innings tonight. But touching on the offense, again, George Springer wasn't playing today, so Bo Bichette led off. He went 1 for 4. Vladdy went 1 for 5. Dalton Varsho struggled a bit. Matt Chapman. But the story of tonight's game, which we'll get into in a little bit, was the bottom of the order where Belt, Merrifield, Biggio, and even Kevin Kiermaier just been very, very impressive. But overall, it was very important to win this game, start the series off right, and we can win the series tomorrow. It feels like we're winning every series these days, but we can start off the series, get the series win tomorrow, which is very, very important.
Yeah, it's going to be important. And the White Sox have been struggling out of the gate. They're missing a lot of players due to injury, and they just don't look like a great team right now. This is a good opportunity for the Jays to grab some momentum, and we've been very hard on them. The expectations are high. They've been on the road. They've only played 6 games at home before tonight's game against the White Sox, and they've made out pretty well. They were 13-9 coming into today, and they won the first game of a 6-game homestand. It's been a good start to the year, but our expectations are sky high, and the Jays, hopefully they can meet those by season's end.
Yeah, and with the Rays moving to 20-3 tonight with the win over the Astros, the Jays got to win these games to keep up because we all believe that the Rays will eventually come down to earth, and the Jays did. We're the only team to beat them in a series, but you had to win these games to keep up. We saw last year we fell behind the Yankees early, and ultimately
Right.
we never came back from that. But let's touch on the bottom of the order. And they were key tonight. They won us the game. And someone who I didn't think I was going to be highlighting or getting a clip for in today's video, and someone who in the pregame stream I said I'd rather him not be in the lineup, which was Cavan Biggio, went 1 for 3 with a home run. So we'll touch on him now. I'll show the home run. Then, Peter, you can also touch on some of the other guys in the bottom of the lineup because they're very impressive, including Brandon Belt, as I show you guys the home run here.
Yeah, I don't mind getting my mouth shut by Cavan Biggio if
Same.
he's going to do that. I mean, good for him. We're not going to prey on his downfall just to fit our narrative. When he does something well, we're going to sing his praises. And he won that game today for the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, he got bailed out by Lance Lynn because he couldn't catch up to the fastball. And for whatever reason, Lynn thought it was a good idea to throw him an 82-mile-an-hour meatball over the middle of the plate. But hey, you take what they give you. And Cavan Biggio did all he could. He did what he could today. He hit that 3-run home run. He put the Blue Jays on the board, but that would not have been possible without a Whit Merrifield double. He has just been scorching hot and should be in the lineup each and every day. And I thought it was interesting that he was at second base today as opposed to being in the outfield and right field where Cavan Biggio lined up. So maybe that's a sign pointing towards Whit Merrifield being in the lineup each and every day at second base. So that's something to monitor. And there's a couple of other players that have caught my attention, but I want to get your thoughts on Whit and specifically Cavan Biggio from tonight.
Yeah, Biggio will. I'll give him his credit again. I was hard on him in the pregame. The home run was very impressive, and like you said, it literally won them the game because the other guys didn't really produce too much at the top of the order. But with Whit Merrifield, I think I agree. I think they want to put him at second base. Maybe he requested to play second base because it's more comfortable for him. Who knows? What I do know is that he's on fire. 2 walks today, 1 for 2, and they showed. I think it was a 16 or 17 game on base streak now. I think it's 17 after tonight. And every game he's played in, he's gotten on base. And I think we're at a point now where, I mean, especially with Espinal's injury, which doesn't seem too serious, he needs to be playing every single day because, again, he showed it in Kansas City, and now he's showing it here. He's just an absolute hitter and someone who fits very, very well after, of course, Brandon Belt and Alejandro Kirk. And Belt's also starting to swing the bat a little bit better, which is also very, very impressive. And I'll let you touch now on Kevin Kiermaier a little bit, who he had a great catch to end the game there and the inning, or in the 9th inning, but very impressive out of him. He's been amazing as a Blue Jay.
Just a quick little note here on Whit Merrifield. He adds a different wrinkle to this team. He's a contact hitter. He doesn't strike out. He can steal a base every now and then, and he offers a lot of positional versatility. But when you do play a position every day and you know that your name's going to be on the lineup card in the same position every day, it adds a little bit to your consistency at the plate and defensively. And if he knows that he's going to be playing second base every day, it'll help him as the season rolls along because he knows what to expect. There's going to be no surprises 30 minutes before game time. So I think this is a good thing that Merrifield is getting more acclimated to the position that he should be playing each and every day. But on Kevin Kiermaier, I've been really impressed with the discipline that he's shown at the plate. And in his first 19 games of the season, he was great. I'm not knocking him, but he did not take a single walk. And then in the last 4 games, he's taken 4 walks. And he's not going to be a 300 hitter. That's not who he is. He's always been a free swinger in his career. But if he can be scrappy at the bottom of the order and get on base each and every possible way that he can, then it's going to add another element of speed and another element of just pure base running IQ and ability to this team that'll help them in the long run. And Brandon Belt is starting to come along too, which is very nice to see.
Yeah, and like you said, Kiermaier's super fast, and when he turns the lineup over, especially when he gets on base with the new bases, it's always good things. And hopefully he can keep it up because he doesn't really hit for power. So if he can just get on base and maintain even like a 700 OPS, he's going to be a very valuable piece of this defense. But let's touch now on Chris Bassitt, who just keeps rolling, and we could have made this honestly just saying the rotation keeps rolling because it seems like the whole rotation is just finally starting to lock in. Even Manoah had a great start last time, but I'll let you touch on Chris Bassitt, what you saw from him. Of course, he left the game early with, I believe it was tightness in his back, but 6 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. Struggled a little bit with the control, but he overall looked very good and very confident, and he did not let the 2-run little rally the White Sox have face him in the slightest.
Yeah, not at all. And his stuff was pretty good today. He was up to 93, 94 regularly. His pitches, he was locating them pretty well for the most part. And each and every start, he's just gotten better. This guy is pure craftiness and a joy to watch out there on the mound when he's clicking on all cylinders because he can locate those pitches and contort them in ways that you don't think are possible to the naked eye. And he's just been so good ever since that first little start that he had in the St. Louis series. But I've been very impressed with him. And I want to give a shout out to Tim Meza as well, who came in to face Gavin Sheets. He went down 3 balls, no strikes. And then he threw 3 strikes in a row and struck him out. So I want to sing his praises as well, because although we were kind of surrounding him as a bit of a question mark coming into the season, he's quietly put up a very solid year so far and been one of the staples in that bullpen that we thought would be a strength coming into the year, but has struggled and had their ups and downs so far.
Yeah, and also a shout out to Zach Pop, who continues to be unbelievable at all levels, and Jordan Romano, of course. It's weird for Jordan Romano. It's either a struggle or it's just the easiest 1-2-3 inning you'll ever see. And also Nate Pearson is called up. We might have a video breaking that down tomorrow or something like that, but you can check out our live stream if you want to hear more about that. We discuss it a bit. And quick final thing before we do wrap up, I'm going to shout out Chris Bassitt's defense here tonight with a very good play that honestly looked a lot easier than it actually it was, because Wow, what a play off the bunt! And I don't know if you have any quick thoughts on that before I wrap up. I just wanted to
Yeah.
include it to give him a shout out for that.
Maybe that's where the back tightness is coming in. I mean, he's 34 years old. That's not an easy play to be making out there, but shout out to him. He's just a pro's pro. And like I can't stress it enough. He's been such a calming presence in that rotation since that start against St. Louis, and hopefully he can keep it rolling all season long. He did slow down last year with the Mets in the second half, so hopefully the Jays manage his pitches and his innings enough in order to keep him fresh for that stretch run.
Yeah, and the Jays last time through the rotation, they have a .81 ERA before tonight's game, and Chris Bassitt raised that a little bit even with his great start, but the rotation's finally coming along, and the Blue Jays are starting to string together some wins, so we're hoping for a win tomorrow with Jose Barrios going to the Hill. We'll have the pregame for you, and we'll see you then.
Thanks.